Hi everybody, it's Tara. I had lots of ideas about what to talk about today, and really, everything that I try to talk about or think about or whatever just doesn't seem to be right. There's so much going on right now in the world, and there are riots and protests and bad things and good things and all kinds of just different things happening right now in the world. It's very chaotic. Um, and I'm reminded of this conversation that I had with my stepmom the other day. She's amazing, and she tells me, well, right now people are doing a lot of internal thinking and thinking about what they're doing and who they are and who they want to be, which I think is really true, especially like I'm going through this crazy transition right now where I've had a lot of self-realizations. I know a lot of people are going through these times, and I think globally that the earth and the society and everything is kind of shifting and going through these times, and it's a hard shift because not everybody is ready to move towards a global nation where we all just get along. And we really are at the point where technology has advanced enough that we realistically do not have to worry about our resources, even on a global level. I mean, yes, there are places that are so messed up and so horrible, and if you don't know about them, go watch some Vice News or go watch some documentaries about the oil in Africa, or about the salt mines in Himalayas, and all of these different things all over the world where there are just really bad things happening. People are treated like crap everywhere. And even in those places where people are suffering, in the poorest slums of Rio de Janeiro and South America and all of that stuff, they wouldn't have to suffer that way if we as a global people became that global people. And I, you know, I am not typically your fluffy bunny, love everybody kind of witch or person or whatever. I do think that there needs to be competition, and I do think that there needs to be some, motivating factors in our society, but our motivating factors should not be race or religion or your gender or who you decide to be as a person. I mean, right now we live in a world where there are transracial and transgender and trans everything, and people are really deciding who they want to be. And the more so and as more people decide to be who they want to be, there are other people out there who are so stuck in their ways, who are so into their own opinion or whatever it may be, that they can't just accept that people are different, and that that's okay. And that's what makes this world beautiful. I really like to tell people, like, if everybody was the same, you'd be married to somebody who looks just like your mom or your dad. You would, all of your kids would act just the same, and your best friend and your husband would pretty much be the same person. And, your whole world would just be full of people who, it would be like looking in a mirror all day long. And realistically, we don't want that. And societies where that becomes the norm, they're so unhappy, and there ends up being a lot of incestualness and grossness, and it's just not the right thing. That's not where our society is supposed to go. It's not where our planet, that's not where our species is supposed to go. And it's crazy to me that we've spent all of this time on Earth, thousands and thousands of years, and we're still having the same battles. We're still battling over my God is better than your God. I love George Carlin's, may he rest in peace. I love his, my God has a bigger dick than your God. Really? Is that what we've come down to? My my race is better than your race because the color of my skin makes such a difference in who I am as a person. And yes, the color of your skin affects a lot because it changes how you are treated. Um, the way that you look changes a lot. I know that this doesn't even seem close to comparison, but it's as close as you can get without, I've never dressed up as a black person or a Mexican or a Ukrainian or a Native American, whatever, none of those things, and spent the day living like that, which, if, there's some great, skits and documentaries and eye-opening things on the TV like that all the time, and you can find those. But even just going from like a brunette, I used to dye my hair blonde or red, and the way that people treat you, I'll never go back to being a blonde. And I'm sorry to all the blondes of the world, is that you just get treated like you are slightly less intelligent than everybody else in the room. And that kind of sucks. And so for white people, specifically, for all of those blondes out there who are like, God, people are fucking assholes to me. I'm sorry. There might be some language in this video. So, but all you blondes out there who are like, oh, everybody's so mean to me and they treat me like I'm dumb. That's the color of your hair. Can you imagine what it's like if the color of your skin were not white and how you would be treated differently? And if you there's a great documentary. It's called Hello, White Privilege, This is Chelsea. And it's amazing. And it starts off with the most amazing beginning where it talks about she goes to a college and she's meeting with an individual, a group of African Americans, and she's asking them, like, okay, so I want to learn about white privilege. And you gotta watch the documentary to really understand it, but really the response that she gets back is that white people have to stop going to black people to ask them how to fix their own white privilege. The first thing to fix our white privilege is that you have to recognize that you have that white privilege. And I think that the most apparent place that I've ever seen it is when you're crossing the street or crossing a parking lot. And I advocate for every single one of you to do this the next time you are at the Walmart or the grocery store or the whatever. White people don't stop. They just keep on going. They walk right through the intersection. They roll right through the intersection. They don't stop. Every other race stops and waits. And it's such a subtle thing. It's such a little thing, like, but it's there. And that's that subtle, we don't even think about it. But when you come to an intersection or a stop sign or a whatever, and there are two people, a white person and a black person, and they both got there at the same time, the black person's going to yield to that white person, and the white person is going to take that privilege and go right along with it. And so I think that that's, just one of those little things that we don't think about. And so I think that, like, as white people, we need to think about those things. I also think that an eye for an eye and the whole world would be blind. It's very true. And the more we try to use violence to fight violence or hate to fight hate, the worse it's going to get. And that's not the future that we need to look for. I think that there needs to be so much more understanding and so much more love. I grew up in an interracial family. My godmother's Latino, Mexican, I don't even know. My god sisters or cousins or whatever. When you grow up in an interracial family, things are just different. We went out to lunch with my cousins, god sisters, whatever. We went out with them, and we're all sitting at the table, and the waitress comes over, and she says, oh, are you guys from out of town? And my sister, who is Mexican, loud, says, oh, the Mexicans are from here, but the white people are from Colorado. And it was hilarious. And everybody in the restaurant turned to look. Was it the white lady who said that, or was it the Mexican lady who said that? Because if I had said that, it would have been a thing. But because my cousin said it, it wasn't a thing. And it shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. I have brown hair and white skin. That's how you describe me. It shouldn't be what I'm judged off of. Oh, now I feel like I'm really getting ranty. I just really feel like it's important, especially for white people, to hear another white person say to check your white privilege. Think about who you are and what you do and how you affect the people around you, and what you want this future to be like. And if everybody made better choices for themselves instead of trying to push some choice on somebody else, we'd have a way better world. I also think that it's important to mention that even though we're pagans and we have this open community and it seems like everything is all fluffy and wonderful, there is so much racism still in the pagan community, not just towards people of different colors, but people of different sexual orientations or different life choices, or even anger between the different pagan paths. So that racism and hate go everywhere, and the only way that we are going to eradicate them and get rid of that and move forward from that is if we talk about it. This is This is just like the Me Too movement. This is just like, you know, all of the child abuse that goes on, all of the sexual abuse, sexual trade, racism, hate, all of these things. The more that we sweep them under the rug and try to look the other way and pretend like things aren't happening, or, oh, that's not affecting me. I mean, I live in a small community. There was one protester at our Capitol building yesterday, compared to the like hundreds of thousands that are protesting in other cities. So here it's hard to even contemplate what it would be like to have 100,000 people walking down the street chanting. Um, but these things are happening, and you have to step outside of your norm and your whatever, and actually think about more than just that. And so, just like the other day when I said it, I say it again now: go out, meet somebody new, learn something new. You know, learn to appreciate other cultures for the beauty and the amazing things that they offer to this world, and have respect for other people, no matter who or what or any of that. Just because they're another human being on this planet surviving just like you, they deserve some respect. And that basic respect goes a long way. So I really, really challenge all of you to go out and meet someone new, to reach out to somebody of a different race or religion or sexual orientation, or somebody who's just different than you, and talk to them. Talk to them about who they are and what they do, and see that they're not so much different than you are. They have a mom and a dad and drama and baggage and history and love and suffering just like you do. And, oh, mosquito. Uh, so I challenge you, go out, spread some love, learn something new, find some understanding. I hope everybody has a great day, and I really, really send out good love and understanding to everyone today. Let's cross those lines with love and not more violence and not more hate. So, oh, mosquito! I sacrificed this mosquito. uh, but really, I really do send out love to the whole world, and a little understanding. Bless me.